We talked about the boons and which boons are good at beating the bosses, but what of the bosses themselves? What is the quality of each boss, and which boss has the most sauce? If you like these tier lists about Hades 2, we made some other ones. We've also done some Hades gameplay videos. You can go watch that, and I'll just do some silly runs we did. Those are there. We've also got a Magic the Gathering channel where we've built some hypothetical Hades cards, so if you're into Magic the Gathering, check those out. Now, before we get started, talking about the bosses, I do just want to clarify, in the last two tier lists, the lowest we went was C tier, and that's not me copping out and not wanting to say anything is bad. I just truly think Hades 2 in its 1.0 release is pretty balanced. Like, there isn't anything that I would call bad or unusable. There's just some stuff that's fine. I really think fine is the worst things get in Hades 2. I think when we do like duo boon ranking or aspect ranking, we'll add a D and an F tier, but so far there hasn't been a D and an F just because I don't think anything is all that bad. I am sorry if I ever hurt your feelings by saying that a god is bad or saying that a hex is bad, or I guess today saying that a boss is bad, because I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying they're fine. And that's where we're going to start off. We're going to start off with fine. And Hecate, as a first boss, is fine, but she suffers from first boss syndrome. As the first boss of the game, she's the boss you have to fight the most, and she's also the boss that is the easiest. After you've beaten Hecate a few times, or even just fought her a few times, her patterns become really easy to track, and the fight just ends up being pretty easy. It's just kind of a speed bump in your run up to Kronos himself. And again, I don't think it's a bad boss fight. I think it's well designed for people who are just starting playing Hades. The problem is you still have to fight her every other time too. And once you've gotten, a little more competent at the game and you've unlocked some Arcana cards and your runs are starting off stronger, you know which boons you want to pick out, you know how the weapons work, you know how the timing works, Hecate's just kinda too easy, and there's just not much to say. The sheep ball even gets pretty easy to avoid. You learn the pattern of dodging into it and being able to avoid the sheep ball. Also, even the first time I was hit with the sheep ball, I just kind of panic dodged. Just hit the dodge button as much as I could to try and get out of those lasers. That's all you have to do when you get hit by the sheep ball, which means that it's not really a challenge skill aspect. It just kind of
slows everything down.
And that's not my favorite thing in a boss fight. I don't really love when bosses say, hey, just wait to do things. Too bad, so sad. I paused the game. You don't get to play anymore. It's something that a lot of bosses do in a lot of video games, usually for like a big, scary, overwhelming Armageddon attack. But to me, they're just annoying. When it's time to dodge now. I don't like it. And that's what the sheep ball is. It's just a delay of game. But we're also going to be reviewing the Vow of Rivals versions of the fight, and the Vow of Rivals version of Hecate, I think, is a bit of an overcorrection. Just a bit of an overcorrection, and so I'm putting Vow of Rivals Hecate into B tier for kind of the opposite problem of basic Hecate, in that I think Vow of Rivals Hecate is a little overtuned for so early in a run. Now, I will say she's much closer to being properly tuned, like where I'd like her to be at as someone who's got, a couple hours in Hades 2. She's much more balanced. She's just a little too balanced against the player. Like, if you're going topside, you have a lot more flexibility in terms of picking out your build before you go against Polyphemus, and there isn't as much flexibility running through Erebus. So by the time you get to Hecate, Super Hecate, your build might not be very put together, and she might just kind of wallop on you as you spend your life in Bullet Hell City. Again, all that being said, in B tier, because I think she's a lot more properly balanced for where I am in my skill level as someone who has played, by the way, not the strongest player of Hades 2. Some of this might be skill issue cope, but I think I'm probably better than the average bear. I'm trying to make these tier lists for the average Hades player, not for the 99 fear players. And if you're not a 99 fear player, you're an average Joe who's maybe cranking the fear a little bit to get the Vow of Rivals. Yeah, I think Vow of Rivals Hecate might be just a little bit overtuned. But B tier, I think it's a much more fun version of the Hecate fight. Polyphemus. Hey, speaking of first bosses you fight, Polyphemus is the first boss you fight when you go topside. And I think this This fight's neat. We're putting it in A tier. I like that he's blind. He can't see what's going on, so when you make noise, he knows to jump at you. That's fun. The ads he summons are pretty inconsequential. They're not a huge deal. Some of his moves are a little trickier to dodge, but they're not ridiculous, and if you learn the patterns and play it slowly, I think it's a pretty darn fair fight. I also like that he's lore connected. I guess I didn't talk about this with Hecate. Obviously, Hecate is lore connected, but Polyphemus, he's got interactions with Poseidon. He's got interactions with Odysseus. He's talking about stuff that matters in the rest of the game, and that's fun. That's fun for me. Also, I just love a big dumb idiot. He's a big dumb idiot. Big dumb idiot is a fun boss, and I think that puts him in A tier. He's not quite S tier, probably for the same reason Hecate 1 is in C tier, is he's just a little easy once you've played through it a few times, once you got those patterns down, and once you can really sculpt your build leading up to him, because you get to pick the rooms you go into. If you got rerolls, you can reroll. You can have like legendary and duo boons by the time you fight him if you got enough rerolls. So I do think that he could be scaled up a little bit in terms of challenge. Maybe make those shockwaves a little bit faster. But overall, I think A tier is pretty good. And here's where a Vow of Rivals fight, I think, gets worse. Because I'm demoting Polyphemus Vow of Rivals Edition Medea Diary of a Mad God Woman to C tier. Boy howdy, I do not like shit on the floor. And Medea just puts a bunch of shit on the floor. Poison floor is such like a staple of the video game genre. What if there was just a bunch of poop everywhere? And I don't really know why. It's definitely a more challenging fight when Medea is there and putting poison everywhere all the time. Oh my god, can you stop? But I've never gone through like a poison area and been like, yeah, that was my favorite part of the game. It's there to be annoying. It's there to be a headache. And when I'm doing it, I don't really enjoy it. When I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. But then I actually like get in there and I have to fight Stompy Magoo while the whole floor is covered in Stinky Magoo, and I don't have a good time. I get so frustrated doing that fight. It's funny, but it's not very fun. It's also really funny if you talk to Medea before you do the fight. If you get the Medea room and she's like helping you out, and then 2 rooms later she's like, oh, by the way, I hope you die of dysentery. That's funny. I like it, but I don't like the fight. Now let's talk about the second boss that you're supposed to fight, Eris. Did I miss someone? I don't think so. Eris is good. She's mean, and I like that. Look, I have a weakness for evil women. Shout out to evil women. Gotta be one of my favorite genders. This goes back to being a kid and meeting Larkseen Kingdom Hearts too early and just having my life fundamentally changed by the concept of evil women who will beat you up. I know a lot of people don't like Eris and they say she's annoying, but when she calls me trouble, I'm like, I'm trouble. Ooh. But I'm not just putting her in A tier because I'm a simp. I'm a simp and I'm putting her in A tier because she's an A tier boss. She's very balanced for where you find her in the game. She can really mess you up if you don't know the patterns. Once you do know the patterns, it's a much more reasonable fight. She's got a good sense of escalation as her damage ramps up and ramps up and ramps up through the fight. That's very fun. She's got a variety of AoEs. She's got a variety of direct hits. You can tell which attack she is going to go for. She's got good tells. That, to me, is a good boss. The reason she's not an S tier is because she won't sit still. I like everything about this fight, but god damn it, can you sit still for a second? She's running around like she's packing for a flight that leaves in 15 minutes, just flying up, flying over there. Now she's over there. Now she's over there. I get it. She's using ranged attacks. She has to manage her spacing, but good lord, lady, stop it. I don't mind when she does the charge that shoots bullets in both directions. That one's fine. I hate when she flies up with no attack and just lands somewhere else and you gotta panic, like looking around every direction to see which way she landed before she snipes you, before she hits you with the Call of Duty 360 no scope. That's not very fun. And we won't talk about Eris 2 and the Vow of Rivals 2 fight all that much because I think it's kind of a lateral move. It's not all that harder. She does more damage for sure, or has the potential to do more damage, but I think her attacks are easier to avoid, at least in my opinion. Or at least the direct damage, like the bullets shooting out of the gun, are easier to avoid. I do think like the mines are harder to avoid than the rockets she shoots up in the air in the base phase, but mostly it's pretty much the same fight. It's just more of like a vertical. It's the difference between like boss fight like this and boss fight like this, you know? I don't think it's a huge change. I still think it's a solid boss fight. I still think she flies away too much, and that's annoying. And I still think she stands in the fire pits too much, and that's annoying. Add that to something I think is annoying in the first fight. I hate it when bosses just stand in an area you can't reach them. It's obviously less of a problem if you got a ranged weapon, but if you're rocking something like, you know, the daggers or the axe, that's kind of a bummer. You can still throw the special with the daggers, but, you know, like what if you're focusing on your attack boon? What if your attack boon's better? Happens to me a lot. Maybe I just need to focus on upgrading the special on the dagger more. Maybe that's a skill issue on my part. Cerberus is a fight. That's pretty good. Not my favorite, not my least favorite. I'll put it in B tier. I think base Cerberus is pretty cool. He looks very scary. I wanted to fight Cerberus since Hades 1. I know everyone's like, oh, pet the dog. Oh, pet the dog. Oh, Cerberus, he's the best boyo. I don't care. That's pixels. That's a computer program. That's not a real dog. I want to fight a big Cerberus dog. I played Kingdom Hearts. I like fighting Cerberus. Cerberus is a thing to fight. He's a big scary dog with 3 heads who's really, really strong. Let's go. Let's do that fight. So getting to fight Cerberus in Hades 2, I'm pretty pumped about it. I'm slightly less pumped because this is a cardio fight, and that's my big issue with it. You gotta run around a lot. The boss arena is very, very big and helps set up the scale of how big Cerberus is. You know, Field of Mourning, it's the big area where you run around a lot. But I don't like running. I want to play the game. It's something I like about Hades more than I like about Elden Ring. I used to play Elden Ring. If you're new here and you're here for the Hades stuff, I used to play a lot of Elden Ring. Got sick of it because that game is 99% looking at your horse's ass as you press circle and go to the next area. So I've definitely done a lot more running in a lot of other games. There's not as much running in the Fields of Mourning and in the Cerberus fight, but still, stop making me chase you. I don't want to chase you. I get that we included the sprint button instead of having multiple dashes. We got a sprint button now, so let's take advantage of that with a big open space. But like, stop it. I don't want that. Make it tighter. I don't even care if they don't make Cerberus smaller. I just want him to be more locked in so I can go hit him. Now, stuff I like about the fight. Good tells. You know which moves he's going to be doing. You can get out of there. Kind of big hitboxes. The hitboxes can seem a little baloney in here too. But if you got the right build going, this isn't that hard of a fight. Pretty well balanced for where it is in the game. It's more of a don't get hit fight. You have the opportunity to not get hit if you want to not get hit, and if you just miss that opportunity sometimes, you're going to take some punishment for it. It's death by a few big hits instead of a bunch of smaller ticks like Eris or, Prometheus. Those are a lot of smaller ticks that add up. This is, you screwed up once, you lost 30 health, too bad, so sad. Don't do it next time. And I think that's a fine way to design a boss, especially at the third boss of the area. Who's the second boss? Did I not talk about that? I think it's fine. Now, Cerberus 2 is Cerberus 1, but the hitboxes are more bullshit, and there's a bunch of shit on the floor. There's a bunch of lava on the floor. I've talked about it. I don't like it when there's shit on the floor. Clean up. Where is Dusa? Dusa, fix this. They really just took the Cerberus fight, threw a bunch of fucking fire on the ground, and said, okay, we did it. Also, now he can hit behind him because everyone was just cheesing him by hitting him in the ass like he's a Dark Souls boss. He really looks like Lawrence the First Vicar from Bloodborne. And he moves like that too. And now there's fire and shit on the floor, which, by the way, if I'm gonna take a moment to talk about Bloodborne, I definitely prefer Cleric Beast to Lawrence the First Vicar, because I don't want to die because you pooped on the floor. I want to die because the monster dog hit me in the head so hard my grandkids are gonna have CTE. That's why I want to die. I don't want to die because I didn't bring a plastic bag to pick up after Pupper. So yeah, I think Cerberus gets a little worse in the battle rivals, and I'm going to put him in C tier. I don't love the fight. If there is a king of standing in the shit I put on the ground, though, it's Prometheus. He's in B tier. This dude throws down the campfire and then really puts the camp in campfire because he loves to just hang out in fire that you can't stand in without taking 15 damage per tick. Mamma mia. His attacks are all super fast. There's combos you can just get caught into and suddenly you get hit 10 times. It also screws up any multi-hit defense. You know, if you have like armor, you have that Demeter boon that gives you a free hit, or you have that Arcana card that gives you some free hits in boss fights. Yeah, Prometheus is hitting the aura JoJo's Bizarre Adventure punches, so he's just gonna break all those down, not really caring. This is a fight where a bunch of ticks add up to melting your health bar down, not one big tick. Unless you get hit by the fire stripes. The fire stripes are a delay of game. It's another one of those things where it's like, it's not gonna kill me, it's not gonna hit me, I can avoid it, but I also can't do anything to the boss while it's happening. I don't like it. And when you go from top to bottom, like, there is barely enough time to get there, so you just kind of hope he never says that as an option. This is a lot of saying, oh, these are things I don't like about this fight. So how's it in B tier? Have you considered that Prometheus is just fucking cool? The dude has so much aura. Oh my God, he's so cool. His voice is so cool. He looks super cool. He's doing karate out here. I mean, yeah, he's beating my ass, but the whole time he's beating my ass, I'm like, this guy's got style. He simply aura farmed his way into B tier. And, you know, again, patterns, tells, these sorts of things. His are harder to learn, but he's a later boss. I think they should be harder to learn. I think he is a pretty balanced fight, even though sometimes he will camp in his campfire, and for that I hate him. How dare you? He's also another example, though, of a boss fight that gets better in the Vow of Rivals, because he adds Heracles, and Heracles adds so much to the fight, specifically another guy trying to beat the shit out of you. Once again, I'm from the Elden Ring community, and people love to bemoan the lazy duo boss fight. Oh, you put two godskins together, now you think it's a better fight? But sometimes you get a really good one. You get an Ornstein and a Smo situation, where individually the boss wouldn't be as fun. It'd be old Dragon Rider from Dark Souls 2. That's not very fun. Put them together, you got something special going on. And I think Heracles and Prometheus, they got something special going on together. Remember how I said that Fire Stripe move was a delay of game? There's nothing you can do during it? Yeah, now Heracles is chasing you around with a giant club, and you can still do damage to him. So you can still fight instead of, you know, basically waiting to play Bop It. Oh, middle, top, bottom, top, bottom. That's not as fun as like Fred Flintstone's coming after me, trying to turn me into jelly, and also playing Bop It. You're still playing Bop It, but it's more interesting, and you can still hurt Fred Flintstone. I think that's cool. I also thought Heracles was going to be the third boss. I've been playing this in early access, so like I played it when Eris was the last boss you could get to on topside, and Heracles was in the game at that point. He could drop down and help you out, and I was like, oh, Heracles is going to be boss number 3. Heracles definitely going to be boss number 3, because that dude has some beef with the gods. The gods did some bad things to that guy. If anybody's on Kronos' team, it's going to be him. It wasn't, but in the Vow of Rivals version, it is. He also has an attack where he spins around like a big dumb idiot, like Hercules does in Kingdom Hearts. Again, Kingdom Hearts' influence just can't be matched. You know, it's everywhere. It's the best. But hey, Phil, where's the S tier bosses? You've only put bosses in C and B and A, and you say you like this game, but you don't have any S tier bosses? Well, guess what? You can't spell Kronos without S, because this is a great final boss. Ooh, I love Kronos. He's such a hater. I love a hater. DC Comics got the best haters in the game. You know, you got your Reverse Flash, Lex Luthor, Black Manta, all S tier haters. I love every single one of them. Kronos deserves his place amongst the hater greats. He's sassy. He's talking shit to you the whole fight. His moves are hard to dodge. But, once you learn the patterns and you learn the tells, they're easier to dodge. Except for the frickin' boomerang one. I suck at that. I absolutely suck at that. There are ads in the fight. Oh no, but there are ads in the fight. Which means if you got any of those abilities that let you summon ads, you're glad those ads are in the fight. That's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. You're pretty happy that they're there. Sometimes you'll get stuck in the sand, which I don't count as a delay of game. Because, yeah, I guess it is delaying the game, but he's also going to hurt you during it. It's not just wasting time, and you can avoid that time wasting if you go to the right place. If you see, sand dune popping up and you just get out of there. I think he's a really well-balanced boss. I think he's a really good final boss, especially for, your average player who's not turning on high fear. I think this is a reasonable challenge to end the game with. It's hard, but it's not too hard. You can definitely do it, and I hope you're doing well. I hope you're drinking plenty of water. And you know what? Why don't you text some of your friends right now? Ask them how they're doing. You don't reach out to your friends enough. You should do that. Just say, hey, what's going on in your life? Are you having fun? You want to grab something to eat sometime soon? You should do that. Unfortunately, Kronos is another boss that I think it's worse under Vow of Rivals. Yeah, it's harder the first 2 phases, and yeah, it should be harder in the first 2 phases because it's Vow of Rivals. We turn the difficulty up. Duh, I'm not saying it shouldn't be harder. And I'm not even saying there shouldn't be a 3rd phase. That is tradition with Hades games, Hades 1, when you turn up the high heat and you get those rivals turned up, you're going to be fighting your dad a 3rd time. It's great. It's fun. I expected there to be a 3rd phase against Kronos. My problem with the 3rd phase of Kronos is he doesn't sit still. Stop running from me. Come over here and let me hit you. It's totally fine that he's hard, and it's totally fine that phase 3 is a nightmare, and it's totally fine that everything does so much damage to you in phase 3. These are all things I am a-okay with in phase 3. I'm just annoyed that this coward keeps teleporting away and trying not to die. What are you? Me? That's what I'm supposed to be doing in this fight. You get over here and let me hit you with my big stick. You jerk. Still A tier though, because I still think it's a really good fight. Speaking of A tier bosses, Typhon. I like Typhon a lot. He doesn't have a health bar. Oh my god, what a gimmick for a final boss. I think even though Typhon doesn't have a health bar, I can gauge where his health is better than bosses that do have a health bar because his phases are so clearly delineated by the gameplay. Oh, he's making eggs? We're at a quarter health. Zeus showed up? We're at half health. He's making eggs again? We're at 75% health. You can figure out where you're at in the Typhon fight pretty easily after you've done it a few times. The health bar not being there doesn't really matter. His attacks are also somehow still good at hitting me, even though I know the patterns. I don't know why. The big headbutt he does, I can see that coming from a mile away. It's super telegraphed, hits me every time. Don't know what's going on there. The thing that keeps him out of S tier is I think there is just a little bit too much happening on screen in that final little phase where you got tentacles, you got bombs dropping, he's shooting lasers, he's shooting whirlwinds. Maybe there's a few ads left from the egg phase if you couldn't clear the egg phase fast enough. By the way, you should be able to clear the egg phase fast enough. I mean, come on, what's going on? Why can't you clear those eggs out? They're eggs. Break the eggs. Or are you doing an Ares run? Boom! Dunked on Ares. Yeah, I did it again. You thought you were safe. I waited longer into the video to do it, but here we are. Boo! We hate Ares. I said he's fine. He's in C tier. Get over it. But yeah, I think there's just maybe a little bit too much shit going on screen at the end. So it's pretty wild that I'm saying Vow of Rivals Typhon, who has even more shit going on, is S tier. I think Vow of Rivals Typhon is amazing as a final boss. And yeah, I guess there is a lot more shit going on, but like this is the hardest boss in the game. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the hardest boss in the game. So it gets to be, visual noise where it just looks like everything is being thrown at you except the kitchen sink. And then they hit Home Depot and they have some sinks too. The real reason it's an S tier, though, is because at the end of the fight, Kronos uses time travel to turn you into a child to get murdered by a kaiju. And again, I professed my love for hater energy when I said Kronos deserves S tier. Kronos' hater energy has eclipsed Reverse Flash, going back in time to kill Barry's mom and make him the Flash. Like turning your granddaughter back into a child so that she gets eaten by Godzilla is so fucking funny, and it's so good, and it's so fun. I don't even care that it's a mechanic I hate. Like, I hate when I get sent to Asphodel. That shit's annoying. I don't like it. I don't love it in this fight. I think it's annoying. But for the pure respect of the hater energy of turning you into a baby so you can get stomped on. Oh god, that's S tier. That's so funny. It's so good. And it happens after, the fake out. Like you think you killed the boss. That's what the secret 3rd phase is, or I guess in this case, the secret 5th phase is you're a baby. Die. 10 out of 10. No notes. No better boss in the game. Oh, yeah, there's that boss I forgot. Scylla and the Sirens is one of my favorite boss fights of all time. Maybe my favorite boss fight of all time. S tier. Scylla and the Sirens. My God, what a good boss fight. Something I didn't mention for the other bosses, and maybe I should have, but I think it's kind of a given with a Supergiant game. The music rips. Obviously, the music rips in all of these boss fights. There is no moment of Hades 2 you're going to be playing the game and you're not going to be enjoying the music. But while Nevermind is a wall-to-wall banger album, Smells Like Teen Spirit is still Smells Like Teen Spirit. And that's how I feel about Scylla and the Sirens. Like, every track on Hades 2 is a banger, but oh my God, Coral Crown, the drum fill in Coral Crown where it's like down, down, and then boom. Oh God, that's so goddamn good. It's so goddamn good. And while you're listening to like the most banging boss fight music of all time, you're fighting such a rad boss. There's 3 different bosses you gotta run around and beat up. Oh wow, a gang fight? Oh, are we playing Elden Ring? Is this Godskin Apostle and Godskin Duo and Godskin Timmy, the 3rd Godskin? But no, it's so great because they lock down the drummer. The drummer is locked down. Poor Roxy gets her ass kicked first every time because she has to sit her ass down and listen to the sound of every weapon in the game smacking against the back of her head. Poor Roxy. We all feel bad for Roxy. But then you got the guitarist sliding around, going all over the arena. She's got the most mobility. And Scylla's got kind of a medium level of mobility. Moves around a little bit. Doesn't move around. Sits still sometimes. She moves, she sits. She doesn't move as fast as the guitarist. She doesn't sit still as long as the drummer. Nothing sits still as long as the drummer. It's the easiest thing to kill in the game because it doesn't move. Then you get to phase 2, and if you kill the drummer first, the drum track drops out of the song. You kill the guitarist, the guitar track drops out of the song. They got tracks set up with bosses' health bars that they go away, and it gets even funnier if you have the Night Bloom hex and you can bring one of them back. You get an achievement for it. It's very, very funny. It's very, very good. You can summon your own drummer or your own guitarist, and then the track comes back, but they're working for you. Oh my God, I love this fight. I love this fight. And every time Mel says that the song sucks or that she hates Scylla and the Sirens, I want to reach into the video game, grab Mel and say, hey, listen, you better show some respect. Because they're a 3-piece, okay? They're like Rush. They're like Nirvana. They deserve your respect, and you're not giving it to them. And how dare you? How dare you, Mel? How dare you disrespect? Now, the Vow of Rivals version, I'm gonna say, does get a little worse. I've never really loved Charybdis. I think Charybdis is just kind of annoying. And this adds Charybdis to the fight. I weirdly like Charybdis better in this fight than I like fighting Charybdis on their own. Not sure why. Should be significantly harder. Doesn't feel like it's harder. Still feels easier. I'm just a really ass at Charybdis, and that might be, skill issue thing. But yeah, adding Charybdis I feel like doesn't actually make the boss fight better. I do love their new designs though, so I think it's gonna stay at S tier because I love their new outfits, because this is my favorite band. If Scylla and the Sirens has 1 fan, it's me. If Scylla and the Sirens has 0 fans, I'm dead. If you're dead, make sure you like and subscribe because, I don't care if you're dead. You can still watch videos. They didn't put your phone in the coffin with you. Bring your phone to the coffin. Put on our playlist, Sleeping with Tulok. It's the longest playlist. We're adding all of our new videos from across our different channels. So if you're also worried about YouTube not serving Tulok and Mango to you on the algorithm, don't worry. Have that playlist bookmarked. You'll see all of our new videos. Speaking of new videos, Tulok the Cardbarian. That's where we're doing some Hades 1 Magic the Gathering hypothetical Magic the Gathering cards. I don't own Magic, and I'm not claiming that I do or anything like that. That's just purely speculative fun. That's all it is. It's fun for speculation point. Okay? Bye-bye.